I woke up this morning to a comment that honestly, I just had to laugh at. But after I laughed, I realized this is actually a massive problem in our industry. It's a mindset that is keeping a lot of you broke. It's a mindset that focuses on ego instead of economics. The comment said, and I quote, "You aren't a real trucker. You drive a box truck. Come talk to me when you're in the semi floating gears through 13 speeds doing real miles." And it got me thinking about this obsession we have in the trucking world with gatekeeping. There is a loud group of people, let's call them the super truckers, who believe that unless you meet a very specific, outdated set of criteria, you don't deserve the title of trucker. According to them, if you don't drive an 18-wheeler, you're not a trucker. If you don't have a manual transmission and a sore left leg from clutching, you're not a trucker. If you aren't sleeping in a sleeper berth 500 miles away from your family, you're not a trucker. If you drive a dump truck, a concrete mixer, or a Class B straight truck like mine, you're just a delivery boy. On this video, I'm going to do a deep dive on this. I'm going to dismantle this super trucker myth piece by piece. I'm going to talk about the automatic versus manual debate. I'm going to talk about the dump truck drivers and the local guys who get disrespected. And I'm going to talk about the reality of my business, operating a 33,000 gross vehicle weight box truck and final mile. Because at the end of the day, the bank doesn't ask how many gears you shifted when you go to deposit that check. The bank asks if the funds are available. So let's figure out if real trucking is about shifting gears or if it's about shifting your mindset. Let's start with the gear shifter argument, because this is the one I see the most. There is this romantic idea that real driving only happens if you are physically wrestling with the truck, if you are floating gears, double clutching, and managing a 13 or 18 speed transmission. Look, I get it. There is a skill to that. I respect that skill. If you can float gears smoothly up and down the mountain grade, that takes experience. Nobody is taking that away from you. But does the absence of a stick shift mean the person behind the wheel isn't a professional? Let's look at the industry right now. Look at the mega carriers, Swift, Knight, JB Hunt, Schneider. Go look at their fleets. What are they buying? They're buying automatics. The Freightliner Cascadias, the Kenworth T680s, the Volvo VNLs coming off the assembly line today are overwhelmingly automated manuals. Why? Is it because they want fake truckers driving them? No, it's because looking at the P&L statement, automatics are more fuel efficient. They are safer in heavy traffic. They lower the barrier to entry for new drivers, which solves staffing issues. So, are you telling me that the guy driving a brand new 2025 Cascadia hauling 45,000 pounds of freight across the country isn't a trucker because the computer is shifting the gears for him? That sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud, doesn't it? But that is the logic these gatekeepers use. They call them steering wheel holders. But let me tell you, that steering wheel holder is dealing with the same four-wheelers cutting him off. He is dealing with the same DOT officers at the scale house. He's dealing with the same ice and snow in Wyoming. The job is the safe navigation of a heavy commercial vehicle. The job isn't playing with a stick. Now let's pivot to the equipment itself. The 18 wheels or nothing crowd. This is where my dump truck family and my box truck family catch the most heat. I see people disrespecting dump truck drivers all the time. Oh, you just haul dirt. You aren't a trucker. Are you kidding me? Have you ever watched a dump truck driver work? These guys and gals are driving heavy Class B, sometimes Class A vehicles loaded to the max with rock, sand, or asphalt. And they aren't driving on a nice smooth interstate. They are driving off-road. They are driving on active construction sites where the ground is uneven, soft, and shifting. They have to back that truck up to a paver or an excavator with inches of clearance while the ground is sinking beneath them. That requires a level of precision and nerve that a lot of highway drivers don't have. An OTR driver can set the cruise control on I-80 through Nebraska and not touch the wheel for 10 seconds. You try that in the dump truck on a job site and you're tipping over. And then there's us, the box truck guys, the final mile guys. Let's clear up a misconception about what I drive. I'm not in a U-Haul. I'm not in a rental Penske with a gross vehicle weight under 25,999 pounds so I can slide by without a CDL. I operate a Freightliner M2 106 with a 33,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating. Because of that weight, by federal law, I am required to hold a Class B CDL. I have to have a medical card. I have to follow hours of service. I have to stop at the weigh stations just like the 18-wheelers. When the red light on the pre-pass blinks, I pull in right behind the Peterbilt. The DOT officer looks at my logbook just like he looks at yours. The federal government recognizes me as a commercial truck driver. So why doesn't the super trucker in the parking lot? It usually comes down to the OTR versus local debate. There is this belief that real trucking means suffering. It means being away from home for 3 weeks at a time. It means sleeping in truck stops, eating roller dogs, and missing your kids' baseball games. If you are home every night, sleeping in your own bed, and showering in your own bathroom, well, you must be soft. You must not be a real trucker. Let me tell you a little bit about my story for those who are new to the channel. I didn't start in Final Mile. I started over the road. I took this very box truck and I ran it across the country. I lived that life. I slept on the seat bench in my truck. I showered at the Loves and Pilots. I know what it's like to wake up in a different state every morning. I did that for a year or so. I earned my stripes on the highway. But here is the difference between me and the guy leaving hate comments. I'm a businessman first. I was watching the market. I saw the OTR rates for box trucks starting to dip. I saw the fuel prices climbing. I saw the wear and tear on the equipment that I drive. And I looked at the final mile sector. I saw that in final mile, I could stay local. I could build relationships with shippers directly. I could minimize my fuel burn because I wasn't running 600 miles of deadhead. And most importantly, I saw the profit margins were better. So I pivoted. I moved MBR transportation into final mile delivery. Now, let's talk about the skill set difference between OTR and final mile, because this is where the not a real trucker argument falls apart. OTR driving is about endurance. It's about patience. It's about managing your clock to maximize miles on the highway. It's hard work, absolutely. But final mile is a war zone. In final mile, I'm not cruising at 65 miles per hour down the highway. I'm navigating a 26-foot box truck through downtown city streets that were built for horses and buggies. I'm dodging pedestrians, cyclists, and delivery vans. I'm backing into loading docks that are inside of buildings, down alleyways that have dumpsters on both sides with 2 inches of clearance, and I'm also backing into homeowners' driveways. I'm dealing with the lift gate. I'm dealing with physical freight handling. I'm interacting with customers face to face. You take a super trucker who has spent the last 20 years solely on the interstate and you drop him in the middle of downtown Chicago or Atlanta in a straight truck during rush hour and watch what happens. Watch the stress levels rise. It's a completely different skill set, but it is 100% trucking. The reason this gatekeeping exists comes down to one word. That's ego. There is a certain pride in the lifestyle of the long haul trucker, the cowboy culture, and I love that culture. It's part of American history. But when that pride turns into arrogance and you start putting down other people who are putting food on their table using a commercial vehicle, that's where you lose me. There is a hierarchy that people try to enforce. At the top, they put the heavy haul, oversized guys, then the cattle haulers, then the flatbedders, the dry van / reefer OTR guys, and then way at the bottom, they put the local guys, the dump truck guys, and the box truck guys. They think because their truck is bigger, or their load is heavier, or their hood is longer, that they are better than us. But let's look at the only metric that actually matters in business: net profit. I know owner-operators with beautiful custom Peterbilts, chrome everything, 18-speed manual, big sleeper, and they are drowning in payments. They are running for $1.50 a mile just to keep the wheels turning. They are away from their families for 28 days a month, and after fuel, insurance, maintenance, and the truck note, they are taking home about $1,000 a week. Then I know a guy with a beat up dump truck, ugly as hell, automatic transmission. He drives 150 miles a day, tops. He's home for dinner every single night at 6 p.m. And because he has a direct contract with a local quarry, he's netting $3,500 a week. Who is the smarter trucker? Who is winning the game? The guy in the shiny Peterbilt might feel like a real trucker when he blows the air horn, but the dump truck driver is the one building real wealth. If you are basing your identity on the type of transmission you have, you are missing the point. We are in the logistics industry. Our job is to move goods from point A to point B safely and efficiently. That's it. The tool you use to do it doesn't define you. The truck is just a tool. It's a hammer. A carpenter isn't less of a carpenter because he used a nail gun instead of a manual hammer. He's just more efficient. He's getting the house built faster. If you drive a box truck, do not let these guys bully you. Do not let them make you feel less than. You have a CDL. You are navigating a heavy vehicle. You are subject to the same regulations. You are a professional driver. And honestly, a lot of this hate comes from jealousy. They see you sleeping in your own bed. They see you having a life outside the truck. They see you making good money without destroying your body, living in a 5x8 box on the highway, and it makes them defensive. They have to justify their sacrifice by claiming that their way is the only way. I suffer more, therefore I am more real. That's a toxic mindset. I don't want to suffer more. I want to profit more. I want to expand my fleet more. I have a driver that drives with me. He's a great driver. He's helping me build a fleet. We are building NBR Transportation into an asset that will pay off all of the trucks. The goal isn't to get a badge of honor from some guy in a Facebook group who thinks I need the float gears to be valid. So to the person who left that comment, I hear you. I see you, but I don't agree with you. I'm going to keep driving my fake truck. I'm going to keep running my fake miles in the city, and I'm going to keep depositing these very real checks. If you want to stay in the past arguing about gear shifters and wheelbase length, then go ahead. The rest of us are going to be over here in the future focusing on contracts, focusing on direct shippers, and focusing on the business of trucking. And speaking of business, if you are looking to get into the box truck game, whether you want to do OTR or final mile, you need to understand the back end. It's not just about driving, it's about the paperwork, the contracts, the SOPs. I put together a resource called the Final Mile Contract Plug Pack. It's not just a list of companies, it's the actual tools I use. It's the scripts I use to talk to shippers. It's the standard operating procedures I use to run my business professionally. If you want to stop chasing load boards and start building your own lane, check the link in the description box below. And look, whether you drive a semi, a box truck, a dump truck, or a hot shot, stay safe out there. Watch your following distance, check your mirrors, get home to your family. That's what makes you a professional. Don't let the gatekeepers rent space in your head. Also, check out the video on the bottom of the screen where I talk about OTR versus local versus final mile. On this video, I break down the difference of all three and why you should choose what's best for you and build around it. Once again, I'm Marcellus. This is Trucking with NBR. Make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. And also, leave a comment below. Does driving an automatic make you soft? I want to hear what you think. I'll see you on the next video.